Hello, everybody. I want to address some recent defamatory public statements that were made about me by Lima Yevremovich on her social media accounts. Despite the fact that this woman has lost multiple and indeed every single legal filing that she's ever tried to bring against me, including a slap suit for which she now owes $87,000 in attorney's fees, plus sanctions she owes in the amount of $10,000. She continues to spread false and malicious allegations about me publicly. Recently, Lima has publicly claimed that I've committed, quote, digital crimes. These statements are entirely false, defamatory per se, and a part of an ongoing pattern of what I believe to be harassment against me in retaliation for telling y'all the truth. This harassment campaign, as I see it, hasn't been only effectuated by Lima, but also by her associates, some of whom she did tag in the defamatory posting. I have not committed any crimes, online or otherwise. These are baseless smears from someone who has consistently attempted to use the legal system to silence, bully, and harass me. It is deeply unjust and unfair that after spending so much time and money defending myself successfully against this pattern, that I now find myself not only in debt for those legal bills, but now unable financially to pursue defamation claims against her, not only that she's made on social media, but about the false, knowingly false, demonstrably false statements that she also made about me, defaming me on a traditional mainstream documentary. I'm unable to pursue these defamation claims, even though the evidence is astounding. To be clear, I have already prevailed against Lima Yevremovich in multiple jurisdictions. Courts have unanimously ruled in my favor. Lima Yevremovich's latest attacks are not only dishonest, they are actually a continuation of her retaliatory abuse. Incredibly, she even claimed publicly that someone loaned her $100,000 to sue me. Not only does it give you a little bit of idea of what her intentions always were, but it should give you a little bit of an idea of what kind of resources, wealth, and power she has behind her and what they're willing to do to destroy me in retaliation for telling the truth. She claims she's too broke to pay the legal bills that she owes. She's too broke to pay the sanctions that she herself earned. But she got enough money to spend the night in a hotel every single night. It just is nonsensical and it's not adding up. I have stood up for the truth and I will continue to do so. Amanda Rabb died at 25 years old in this woman's care. She died from cardiac arrhythmia. Lima Yevremovich, while having fiduciary and other type of authority, court-ordered authority over Amanda Rabb's health care, she did not accurately or truthfully report to the public how Amanda Rabb died. She came out to the public, to millions of Mark Leta's subscribers, and said that Amanda Rabb's cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder whenever it was not.
We finally, after how many months now, it's been like we have the autopsy results for Amanda.
Yes, we do. Gonna read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder.
Years have passed, years have gone by, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in litigation costs have accumulated, probably for her as well, but definitely for me, the greater part of $1 million. And yet, still, I haven't heard a satisfactory answer. Why did they lie? She's come out and tried to explain herself. She was reading from an email. She was reading from an email in a video called Autopsy Results. She never said she was reading from an email in the video. I'm going to read word for word of what we got. And Autopsy Results is the title of the video. I have stood on the truth and for the truth, and I will continue to do so. I'm speaking out now, not only to set the record straight, but also to shed some light on exactly the type of abuse and litigation harassment that people like me have to face. This is what we have to face for merely calling attention to public records and letting you know they didn't tell you the true way that somebody died in their care. Then Lima also, and it's not only my fault, it's also her lawyer's fault. It's his fault she owes all these monies and sanctions, and it's not because maybe she's just trying to use the legal system to harass somebody for their privileged and protected speech. The honorable thing to do for Lima would be for her to take responsibility once and for all, ever in her life, for her own actions and her own choices, and stop blaming everybody else, me, my followers, which are actually her followers. She claims they're my followers. They're obviously her followers. She's spoken to these people way more than me. They're not my followers. I never spoke to these people in my life. I've denounced these people over and over. And in fact, they actually harass me. Okay. So she wants to blame them, even though they're her followers. She probably set them out to do this stuff. She wants to blame me. She wants to blame her own lawyer, who she alone hired. Instead of turning that mirror back and looking at her own self, she does not want to take responsibility for her own choices and actions. She should once and for all tell the people why she lied about Amanda Rabb's cause of death, because so far it really hasn't answered anything. Even Beth Karras, who clearly was running PR for Lima, couldn't even figure out how to explain that one. She should apologize to me, because she certainly owes me an apology for the years of retaliatory, frivolous, vexatious slap litigation that she has forced me and my family to endure. And she should learn. She should learn from her errors and her mistakes and take those lessons and apply them moving forward to lessons in her life. But she will not do that, and she has not done that. Instead, with nobody left to blame but her own self, she is now attempting yet again to mislead the public yet again by claiming she only lost her legal cases against me because of jurisdictional games and technicalities. Let me be clear. These are not games, and they were not games I was playing. They were the proper and lawful procedures of the American legal system, a system designed, founded upon protecting free speech and preventing meritless, harassing lawsuits from ever reaching trial. And so, it is not game. It is not technicality to exercise one's right to free speech and to stand on business whenever attacked for it. That ain't a game. And let the record reflect to her and anybody else who thinks they want to enter into that game with me. I don't play, I fight. She claims none of her cases were heard in court. She didn't get a fair trial on any of these egregious, retaliatory, false claims. But she deliberately leaves out a very important truth. It was her own fault her cases never made it to trial. It was her own pleadings that couldn't survive a motion to dismiss. She had chance after chance after chance to convince any court in a number of jurisdictions that I did anything at all worth surviving even going to trial. She failed. Her lawyers failed. In other words, the courts reviewed her claims and determined they were legally insufficient, not because of tricks, not because of games, but because the law demands more than baseless allegations. This is not a technicality. That is justice working as it should. These legal protections, including anti-SLAPP laws and First Amendment safeguards, exist to prevent exactly this kind of abuse of our court systems. Calling them technicalities undermines the very framework of the constitutional rights that every American is entitled to, including those who speak out on matters of public concern and criticize those who are misleading the public. Let us not forget how this began. Lima Yevrimovich was the legally appointed guardian of a globally recognized celebrity at the same time that a 25-year-old woman had recently died in her care, a death she then misrepresented. That's not gossip. That's not drama. And if anything is a digital crime, it damn sure ain't what I said. That is a grave public concern. The cause of death was marked not as a seizure disorder. The cause of death didn't mention a single word about a seizure disorder, not a single word about a seizure, not a single word about epilepsy. All the while, Bam Margera was actively in a guardianship under this same woman. That is a grave issue of public concern. That is exactly the type of grave issue of public concern that anti-SLAPP laws, the First Amendment, and the Founding Fathers made sure were protected in this country. That is not a game, and it is not a technicality. I will not be intimidated into silence, and I will not be intimidated into stopping my reporting on this issue until a satisfactory answer is given. If Lima wishes to dispute the facts, she is welcome to do so, and she should, but not by distorting the historical or the legal record, not by distorting the public record with an egregious and defamatory PR statement, and certainly not by making provably, demonstrably false allegations and accusations about me. In this case, in all these cases, the courts have acted exactly as they were meant to act, to stand as a safeguard for victims of litigation abuse, for victims of astroturfing abuse, for victims like me who have been attacked into almost bankruptcy, who have been abused by litigation, by lawyers, by clowns on the internet. That is what happened in this case. The courts protected a victim of litigation abuse. They said, no, Lima, your claims will not and cannot survive a motion to dismiss. In California, a court went so far as to sanction her for her continued and repeated attempts to punish me, to retaliate against me for my free, privileged, protected statements. Thank you to everyone who has supported me, who's reached out, who continues to support me. I really do appreciate it. If you are feeling so inclined to donate to the legal fund down below, it is linked. We have a lot farther to go, but every little bit does count. I got some new merch dropping soon. Once y'all buy all that, I can make some more new merch. But I'll tell you one thing, I won't be bullied into silence because I've had nothing before, and I'll go back to having nothing before I am going to be bullied into silence. I will not, especially by somebody who lies more than they breathe and blames everybody else for their problems except their own damn self. I'm not going to be bullied by the likes of somebody like that. If you want to support my ongoing legal defense to help me fight back against this coordinated campaign of what I see to be harassment, you can donate to my legal fund link below. That's all I really had for this one. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation, and certainly neither are opinions. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.